Hi, everybody. Wanted to show you how to use Google Sites. It's a pretty cool resource. We're going to give you a couple tips just to make sure that your website stays private to kids at Canton Local. But we'll get into that here shortly. So I'm going to show you how to use this specifically to the book projects that we're going to do, but you can use this for anything. So say you have a project for science or a project for math or social studies. This is a really neat tool that you can use. It's still similar. I mean, you still use your Canton Local email address. And you could put so much stuff in there. It's kind of similar to use with Google Drive and Google Forms, and you can embed Google Form. I mean, it's really cool. There's so many things to do with it, but I'm going to show you just kind of how to make it simple. And then you guys can play around with it a little bit more, but very, very, very cool tool. So if you're like me, sometimes you get overwhelmed. You're like, how do I find this on my Google Drive? So if you just open up a web browser and you go just type in Google Sites, Sites, this should show up first. And I clicked on new Google Sites, and then you will log in. Okay. Now, if you're already logged in and you're set, you just want to make sure that your little icon over here in the corner is you, so you're not on your friend's profile or whatever. And then you just click on blank. And just like Google Docs or Google Slides or whatever you're used to, just similar to that. So this is how it shows up when it loads, but this is how it will show up. And essentially you're going to have your list of requirements for your project, and you'll just make sure that it matches while you're doing this. And you can jazz it up and make it look cool. So here, this is where you can put your page title. So this is where you would put the book title. So I would say I just finished the book called, it's called Dear Martin, and it's so good. So that's going to be the book that I want to do my project on. So I'm going to write Dear Martin, and then underneath it, again, you're used to how you do your fonts and things like that. But then down here, I'm going to make it centered, and I will say, by Mrs. Kane. Clearly, you'll do your name and whatnot. You can, then this is where you put your name. So you would put Dear Martin Book Project by your name. Okay. I should probably put a period there. So then this is where you can change your images and whatnot. You click, instead of upload, you would just click select image, just as in with like Google Slides and stuff. You have a bunch of stuff to choose from. Cool one with books, just neat colors. I am going to go with this one because it's neat and I like it. But you can always go with something that you like better or whatnot. I'm sorry, my dogs are barking. So then it is time to start adding stuff to it. So if you look over here on the side, again, this is where you can really play with things. There's layouts there for you. You can adjust accordingly, however you want. I just went with a pre-made layout just because it was easier. But if you are into like tech design and stuff like this would be a good place for you to just look. Eventually you could really get into cool things like an image carousel would be like just circulating images. Not something you're going to need for a book project, but maybe for something else. You can do buttons, you can do a YouTube link. So maybe if you have a project later where you have to put a YouTube link into your project, there's a way to embed it that way. And there's other things. I know you can import Google Slides. So if you have a presentation that you want to include, this is just a really cool tool, and there's a ton of different resources. So this is where I am going to start showing you how to do specific for your independent reading project. There are 7 requirements. Okay, you have your character, setting, plot summary, conflict, theme, favorite quotes, and then your review. So I'm thinking 2 of these 3 sections, and then we'll do 1 at the bottom. It doesn't have to be that way. If you want to do, just do 7 that way. That's fine, however you want to do it. But this is the way it's set up for you. You don't have to even go with a layout, but a layout to me is just easier just to plug it in that way. So you just click on it and just drag it over. Then I don't want a ton of images. I just want my information there, and then I want to be done. But if you want images there, you can totally have them. If you want to get rid of the images, you click so that it's only on that square, and then you just press the trash can. So again, so once I first click, it's the whole thing. You don't want that. You just want to click on it. So it's just this, just the square where the picture would go. And there's your trash can. Again, trash can. So then I have my edit text. So I would put my headers here. So this is where I would do my characters. This is where I would do my setting. This is where I would do my plot summary. And you can see all that information. You can adjust fonts and things like that. It's right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing and put it below there. Okay. Again, don't really want all the pictures right now, so I'm going to get rid of them. If you see, I'm clicking on it twice so that I get that square. Click delete. And then this is where I would put the conflict. And then I would put the theme. And then I would do favorite quotes. And then all I have left is my review of the book. This is where I would find one. Again, you can add just the text, but maybe this one would be a good place to put the picture. So I'm going to take that one over there that has the just the picture and the text area for you. Just drag it and drop it. So then here I would do my review of the novel. And then that's where I would write that. And then this is where I could put an image. Now, you can search through Google Images and find things. If you click this plus button, Drive is something that you already have on your Google Drive. Select image is where you would click on that, and that is where you have your Google image search. So say I want to search up Dear Martin. Kind of tricky, but I mean, I know the Google image search is kind of weird, but I'm going to click that. And I'm going to double click it and insert it. That's actually the author of the book, and she's holding it up, so we'll include that. And this is where I would write my review. And I would say, you know, who I would recommend it for, why I like this book, why I think it's a really good read, or why I didn't like this book, and, you know, who would, or maybe nobody would. So that's where that would go. And specific to your independent reading project, don't forget, as you're describing your characters or the setting or giving your conflict or your theme, make sure that you include text evidence to show how you learned what those things are. Plot summary is going to have no textual evidence because summaries are just giving me that super specific information, those facts, but making sure that it tells the whole story. So this story was about, and then giving facts that show what that was about. And then your favorite quote, make sure you include a page number. You can have one, you can have two, but make sure you explain why it's your favorite quote from the book and why it's important to pay attention to that. So as always, if you guys have any questions about how to make these websites, you can rewatch it. You can get in contact with one of us, but this is a really cool resource. Thanks so much.